I was thinking how I should contribute to this topic, and obviously I don't want to talk about destination management too much because I believe we've got some other experts in this area, in this room. But I thought that there's one key element which we all, no matter which area we do and in which field we work, that we all need to take into the consideration, and that's the innovations. Creativity, innovations, new ideas. And first I'll talk a little bit about innovations in general, and then I'll share some of the innovative ideas and approaches that we as Kempinski Hotels have done in the past. So first, what is innovation? Let me play you one video which I think really nicely describes the whole idea of the innovation. Idea is the key element of the innovation. You have to have a great idea, then you need to put it in practice, and obviously the idea has to be connected to certain expectations, to certain results. I just would like to, I try to be efficient, so I'll play a little, quite a few videos for you, and I'll show you one other video which I think shows a great creative and funny idea which describes the innovation. Exactly. It has to be fun, it has to be creative, and I think, as you could see, it doesn't really take a lot in terms of finances, in terms of infrastructure and logistics. It's all about the great idea and putting it in place. So, but before we start to think about the ideas, about the innovations, we first need to know what actually we want to achieve by those innovations. And obviously talking about the tourism and destination management and me for hotel, I've put together some of the criteria which are important for the selection of a destination or of a hotel. Many of those have been already said by my other colleagues who had the presentations before, and I'm sure you all know them. But just to recapitalize everything, one and very important point is the reputation, the image building. Obviously, this is something which you cannot do overnight. It is a constant process, and work with the media is very, very important, whether it's the standard medias or social medias, online, especially in this world. Review websites, especially TripAdvisors, and PR. As much as you can make a positive PR, you can obviously get a lot of harm by the negative PR. So all these is very, very important in order to be able to build and maintain a good reputation. And this is very much connected to the expectations. So obviously when you go to a place you've never been to, you have got certain expectations. It's actually interesting, and I think, I live in Bratislava now, but I think there is very much similarity between Bratislava and Košice, that when you ask people from, say, further destinations, or people who, say, from western part of Europe or of the world especially, and when you ask them what were their expectations before they came here, what do you think their answers were? Well, either there were no expectations at all because they didn't know what to expect or what to imagine, or there were rather lower expectations, and that's mainly connected to the past regime. But then once they came here, obviously their perception has changed. They were amazed, they were very happy, and they are very much willing to come back. And I hope international colleagues here will agree with me. So this reputation is very, very important for the tourism. Obviously access, you have to have the right accessibility, by air, land, water. What is very important is the direct flights, especially for international travel. Direct flights are crucial. There's a lot of people, especially from the corporate traveling, which are not willing to do the stopovers. And that's why I'm very happy to hear that Košice Airport is getting more and more involved in this area, and there will be some more direct flights in the near future. Obviously, being cross-regional, Budapest Airport and Krakow Airport could be also used for that. The infrastructure, ground transportation, accommodation, venues, restaurants, visitors, attractions, all of those are important for the overall experience and overall package. But they have to be also at the right value for money. And this is very much connected to this first point, the reputation, the image. You obviously have got certain expectations of spending when you go to Paris, as it was already mentioned before. Just to give you one idea, a 4-star hotel in Paris, which is maybe on a 2-star level in Košice, costs about triple as here. And that is probably also connected to this image and the reputation of the city. To give you one other example, only about 45 minutes away from our Kempinski hotel in Bratislava, there is another Kempinski hotel in Vienna. In terms of products, they're exactly the same, brand is the same, but for some reason, they're able to charge double the price that we are in Bratislava. Are they better in sales? I don't think so. Obviously, geopolitical, health and safety issues, that's something which is essential in order to be willing to travel to certain destinations. And then the wow factor, something wonderful, something out of the ordinary. Maybe it could be a little bit weird, but most important thing is that you live with a long-term memory and you are actually keeping the destination, hotel, or a product in mind. So the question is, how can hotels be innovative? You know, in general, there is this perception that hotel industry is one of the least innovative industries. I have to be honest, I don't necessarily disagree with this statement, as obviously what can be so innovative about rooms, about lobby, about meeting space. But there are actually various ways how hotels can be innovative, and it doesn't necessarily have to cost a lot of money. Now, one of those examples that do cost a lot of money, especially if you got Sheikh Zayed behind your back, who is supporting all that financially, is the Kempinski Mall of Emirates Hotel in Dubai. It is actually a hotel which is connected to the shopping center, one of the 2 largest shopping centers in Dubai. And for those who've been to Dubai or know a little bit about Dubai, you know that shopping is one of the main activities you do there, especially in the summertime, if you don't want to get burned. And what they did, they actually created this great attraction, this marvelous 100-meter ski slope, which you can use if you want to go bobsledging, for example. Not too much for skiing, but however, and especially for the Arabic market, what they've done, they've created the ski chalets. Exactly same identical ski chalets as you can find in Alps, in the mountains. So imagine yourself being in the middle of the desert and opening the balcony, and you're actually looking at a ski slope. That's quite innovative. But we don't have to go maybe that far. You could have innovative technology. Another example from Kempinski world is the Kempinski Hotel in Vienna. It was opened 2 years ago, and what they do, they offer a full interactive iPad control with all the electric devices connected to that and all the services that the hotel offers. So, for example, you're laying in a bed, and without having to move a toe, you can turn off the lights, you can turn the air conditioning the way you want, you can turn on the TV, but you can order yourself a massage, room service, or transportation. But who's the winner, in my opinion, is actually not a Kempinski hotel, but it's one hotel in New York, and I'll play a little video to show you what I mean.
Welcome to Yotel. Step inside with me as we take a tour of this trendy, high-tech hotel in Times Square.
Let's go. Let's go. It's dancing time.
Pretty cool, wasn't it? Well, now coming back to Earth, let's talk about how we can, so how do we become an attractive destination or a hotel by using innovative ideas? Obviously, I heard already from my predecessors some great initiatives, great performances, great approaches which are already being put in place, and I think there are already great ideas, but maybe for example, speaking of the hotel, you cannot change the hardware anymore once the hotel is being built. But what you can do differently is the different approach towards different activities, towards different initiatives that you may come up with. And I've put together a few points which I think are very much in place for any of us, no matter which industry or which area we're working in. First of all, as I already mentioned, we need to build our image. We need to build our reputation. And I think that very much is in place for the destination. Let's be creative. Let's just leave all the limitations aside and let's just go crazy with the ideas. Let's be unique. Try to come up with something which nobody else has done yet. Obviously, we need to know and we need to identify what our unique selling points are, as also my colleague from Ukraine has mentioned. Let's use the synergies with the other players and attractions on the market. Let's not be a lonely rider, because alone we cannot achieve as much as we do together. And create our own, or create a new reason to come. Obviously, festivals, activities that especially I think the cities and various destinations do very well. So I'll give you a few examples now what we do as Kempinski Hotels and within our possibilities to fulfill those points. So how do we build our image? 5 years ago, when Kempinski Hotel in High Tatras was opened, not too many people knew what Kempinski as a brand was about. There was no five-star luxury segment in Slovakia up until then. So we had to build this whole perception and this whole image from the scratch. Obviously, a lot of great worldwide known people who have visited us had helped us. There was a very, very active work with the media. There was a lot of PR, and here are just a few examples. We used some great celebrities who visited us, like Jeremy Irons, who all of a sudden, without any prior notice, has showed up in High Tatras. And I think this is a great news or great image for the region in general. The V4 presidents, the Visegrad 4 presidents had a meeting in our... And what we do, we always share these great experiences with the world, whether we are social media, with the PR, with the regular media. We just scream it out loud. Prodigy coming to Bratislava, I don't think I need to introduce the guy on the left too much. So let's not be ashamed to share. Let's not be ashamed to share our success, and let's not be too greedy on that, or not greedy, but too shy, actually. So to give you an example how we try also to build our reputation, I'm very pleased to say that Kempinski Hotel River Park was actually voted as one of the top 10 employers in Slovakia for 2014, in general within all the fields, and top employer in tourism industry. And then the management team got together, and of course we were proud about it, but we also thought how we could communicate it out to the world, to the public. And this is what we've come up with. Did it cost us a lot of money? Not at all. But I think it was a fairly creative way how we communicated this message out. When we were changing our concept in our restaurant to a so-called a pure kitchen, which is basically a focus on the fresh and highest quality ingredients, our executive chef has gone to one of the most ecological fish farms, which is near Bratislava, and he handpicked the fish there, especially trout, which is considered as the most as the best fish in Slovak region and the best specialty. And then we thought, how would we communicate this concept out to the public through different advertisements? So we got together with one of the top advertisement agencies, and this is the outcome. For those who don't speak Slovak, najlepší pôvod means best origin. So is it a little controversial? Yeah, probably so. Is it leaving some emotion and some message? And will you remember this message? I think so too. The core business for hotels is, first of all, accommodation, but also meetings, conferences. And again, we are trying to think of various innovations, various ideas that we can implement into this core business, which normally is considered as a fairly straightforward, and you would think that there is not much that you can come up with there. But we try always to do things differently, and here are just a few examples what you can do. This is one of the coffee breaks that we offer to our clients. The screen that you see there, actually, not only that it shows cows, but it makes the cow noise as well. It's pretty cool. Now, you'd think that this may cost a lot of money, but to be very honest, to give you an example, one of our regular clients had asked us to create a digital theme. So we were thinking what we could do, and of course we could go highest technology direction, but then we thought, let's do it the other way. And so what we did, we collected all the old monitors that I'm sure all of us have got somewhere in the storage rooms. Some of our colleagues had still old PlayStations, Super Mario games, and an Atari computer in the garage somewhere in the box. So we all collected that, and we put it out there. And the outcome was amazing. The people walked out of the meeting room, and the very first thing they did, they attacked this Atari computer, and they just played for 10 minutes, and they had a great time. Another example is the sports theme. Not specified client from the soft drinks industry, which I'm sure you cannot figure out, had asked us to create something in terms of sports. So we just collected all the different things, and again, it didn't cost us really nearly anything, except for maybe a few costs with the transportation, and the people had a blast. I was talking about the transportation, and obviously you can do the regular ways of transportation, or I think you can also be somewhat unique there and creative. We had a group of 50 people, which had a meeting in our hotel, and they wanted to make a half-a-day trip to Vienna. So what we were thinking what we could do a little differently. And there is this speedboat called Twin City Liner, which goes regularly from center of Bratislava to center of Vienna, from the main port. So because we have a privilege of being on the bank of the river Danube, and one of our owners has got actually his own private pontoon. So we approached Twin City Liner, and we asked them if we could maybe make a stop on the way from the main port, nearby hotel, where we would load the 50 people, and then they would continue to Vienna. A few phone calls, few emails, and it was a reality, and it was a completely different experience for our client. And again, it didn't necessarily require any extra costs. It was just being a little bit different and creative. When I spoke about the synergies with the other partners and other attractions, one example is the Volkswagen plant, which is very nearby Bratislava. And by the way, it's one of the most ecological plants in the world, and it's the only plant in the world that assembles Volkswagen Touareg, Audi Q7, Porsche Cayenne. So next time you buy your next Porsche, you know it's coming from Slovakia. And since we've got a very good relationship, we asked them what we could do together. So we came up with this adrenaline package, which basically includes, of course, a lovely accommodation in our hotel, and then an experience of the tour through the plant, and the test drive that you can actually see how they make the car, and then you can test it immediately on a test track right next to it. Another example is water sports. Košice is actually one of those fortunate cities that have got the water cable. And I know the current situation there, but I've got good news for you. It should be functional as of the summer again. So what we did, because Košice, I think, is pretty much similar to Bratislava in this case, and we are pretty much a corporate destination. The core business is the corporate business. But in the summertime, obviously, you need to get more people in, and you need to do a little more pulse in terms of tourism. So we try to come up with the different ideas how we can attract people and show them there's a lot more than, and I fully agree with what has been said before, it's not about the hotel, it's about the overall experience, it's about the various activities you can do there. So this is one idea that we've done. We included a full day of water fun activities. We've transported the guests there, we've picked them up. If you do not have a water cable, I think you can be creative and somewhat unique also with the assets that you've got. And nearly every city has got a theater or some kind of a cultural opportunities. Well, what we've done is the opera package. And obviously we're not the only hotel that has got an opera package, but we are the only hotel that, besides the actual ticket to the first class seats, we included also Rolls-Royce transportation, and we included a tour through the backstage of the theater right before the performance. And this was something that the guests really appreciated. So as I said before, it's very important to identify the unique selling points. Obviously, we did our homework, we identified ours. It has to be something that nobody else can say that they have. No matter if it's a hotel, no matter which category of the hotel, no matter what kind of a product, or even as a destination, everybody can identify their unique selling points, and everybody can identify the reason why to go there, why to do this and that. Now, this is not a sales presentation, so I'm not going to read all the USPs of ours, but just to give you an idea. one of the points was to create a reason to come. Obviously, for city, it's even easier and better, and I'm really, really pleased to see such facilities, because this is exactly what the people are attracted to. For a hotel, to give you one example, for our High Tatras hotel, obviously, being in the mountains, it is very much a seasonal hotel. Winter, summer is a great, fantastic season for us. But then there are those slower seasons and slower periods, and we try to come up with the idea what we could do to attract the people, even though it's raining outside, but it still could be a lovely experience in High Tatras. So we've come up with those chamber concerts. We do about 5 to 6 concerts in the hotel, where Slovak and Czech market being the key market for the region and for our hotel as well, we focus on Slovak and Czech interpreters and performers and singers. And what we offer is the lovely weekend package, not necessarily cheap, but very nice experience where you can see very close your favorite singer. Afterwards, you can enjoy the reception. You can have a chat with your favorite singer. You can take a picture. And it works. Obviously, we try to go internationally as well, so Morchiba was one of those approaches. Last thing I want to say is that no matter what you do, no matter whether you're in the public sector, private sector, I believe that good ideas, and maybe to put it in different words, if you always do what you've been doing, you can expect the same results all the time. And I'm sure you all heard that before. And it's true. So no matter what you do, you should try to come up with different ways of approach, with the different ideas. To have a nice brochure, absolutely, that's fine. But let's just try to come up with the ideas, how you communicate what you want, your message, how you approach your target groups. But the very most important thing is, no matter what you do, you have to be Thank you very much for your attention. It was a pleasure being here. Obviously, same as my other colleague said, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm not running away right after presentation. I'll be here also for lunch, so I'm also available.